Johnny Staten here for IrishBoxing.com with Adam Smith. Obviously, we've seen you compare there. What did you make of just being back in Belfast and the atmosphere?
Fabulous. I love coming here. I've always loved coming to Ireland. There's something special about the Irish fight fans. It's a city, Belfast, where you can walk down the streets and everybody's got an opinion. Everyone wants to talk about what's happening that weekend. I loved coming here with Eamon Loughran and Eamon McGee and Wayne McCulloch and Damien Kelly. I mean, there's a long list of them. I've been a big follower of Carl Frampton, not just from a TV point of view, but a fight fan's point of view. I think Carl is everything I like about the sport. He's a great kid, he's a good family man, and he's a wonderful fighter. We had him in the early days, we lost him, he went away from Sky.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that February the 27th we're back together, and we've got a great show with Quigg, which is the fight that I've certainly wanted for the last couple of years to happen, and a fight that Belfast and Manchester deserve to happen.
You say for the last couple of years you wanted that fight to happen.
Yes, yeah,
and at the sort of top table, Barry suggested you might. Did you play Peacemaker a little bit?
Listen,
or
I just, you know, I wanted it to happen. You know, there was difference of opinion. You know, Carl used to work with Eddie.
Yeah.
Barry and Carl went their own way. Obviously, they've gone on to ITV, etc. So, you know, this boxing politics. You know, and ultimately, you want fighters to pursue their careers in the way that they want them to, and that's what Barry felt was right at the time. I think he now feels it's right to fight Quigg, and I think that's the right decision. I think it was very difficult making the fight because of the divide, but from my point of view, it was right up there on my list. There are others, but after Froch at Wembley, I said to Eddie Hearn, I want Quigg Frampton, and I want it quickly.
And were you pushing that one before? Maybe even Khan and
Brook is another one. I'd like to see that happen. I think that's a harder one to make because Amir's got a deal in America, and you know, he's with Al Heyman, and it's a bit tougher that. It's a fight I really want to see, and I want to see next year. But that's a separate negotiation. This is two super bantamweights who are at their peak or approaching their peak. And I think the time's right. I think maybe what happened to Carl over in America and what happened to Scott that same night, in the fact that before that most people felt Frampton would win the fight, and after that night, you know, opinions did change a bit. I think that might have made the fight happen, because I think that maybe Team Quigg saw a weakness in Frampton, and maybe Team Frampton realised they had to come back and prove a point. Whatever happens, we've got it on. I think February the 27th is going to be an amazing night in Manchester. You know, Ireland are going to come over. It's wonderful for boxing, and the best thing for us, as I said up there, is if we have a great fight and we do it all again here.
And do it all again in Belfast.
That's what I'd like to do.
And just in terms of the atmosphere, what it means for TV, obviously, you know, it makes the Frampton fans make him a little bit more of a more attractive TV proposition. If he generate that atmosphere in fights, it comes across and makes better viewing.
Listen, of course, you know, I watched the Titanic night on the television, you know, and I'm gutted we weren't involved. Of course, you know, you have to. You can't have everything in this sport. You know, I work for Sky Television, and we've put boxing on for the last 20-25 years, and we've been involved in most of the great nights. Not all of them, but most of the great nights. Carl Frampton was certainly high up on my list to be back involved with. Not just because I like him and I like his fighting style, but because I love the Irish fans, and I've missed coming here.
And you might come back in April, Eddie was saying, with Ryan Burnett.
He mentioned that on the way here today, and Ryan Burnett, I was delighted when Eddie signed him. I think he's a very, very good fighter. He's trained by Adam Booth, who I've got a lot of time for. I think Ryan is exactly the sort of fighter that is going to go on to do big things in the sport. It is expensive coming to Ireland. You know, crossing the Irish Sea from a production point of view is expensive, but we want to do it when the fights merit it, when the names merit it, and we know we're going to get the crowds, because there are a few crowds like this. You know, Belfast, Cork, Dublin. You know, it goes back to the days of Eubank Collins in Mill Street, and wonderful days in Cork, and you know, we took Lennox Lewis to Dublin, and Nassim Hamad, and you know, it's just the Irish love their boxing, amateur or pro, and you know, and Barry McGuigan was my hero when I was a kid, so I've always had a soft spot for the Irish.
Lovely. Well, we'll leave it at that. I appreciate talking to us, Adam. Thanks, man.
No problem.